What does she have to fear if she's telling the truth?
Blake Lively just completely lost it in a court, y'all. Megyn Kelly is on a relentless mission to expose every twisted lie Blake has ever spun, and the courtroom drama is more explosive than ever.
Time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context is an absolute nothing burger.
Kelly has gone all in digging up damning evidence that leaves no room for doubt, from text messages to jaw-dropping receipts. Megyn's legal team is bringing it all to the table, and Blake, she wants us to believe this is actionable harassment. She's in full panic mode with the truth pouring out. It looks like Blake's carefully crafted facade is crumbling faster than anyone could have imagined.
He has gotten its hands on that video, and you can hear Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni interacting as themselves, knowing that this is all on video and that this is going to be used to create this dance scene. And no such moment is shown.
So buckle up, we're about to dive into the wild, wild west of the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively drama. And trust me, it's got even weirder. Remember that key allegation in Blake's complaint? She claimed that Justin crossed a line during a scene where they were supposed to be filming a silent montage. According to her, he leaned in and whispered something suggestive. And then, well, let's just say he got a little too handsy. But guess what? TMZ got their hand on that video, and it tells a very different story.
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I we have these moments where
Staring.
Blake and Justin are clearly acting for the camera, flirting, giggling, and even nuzzling each other. It's playful, it's suggestive, but it's all in the spirit of the scene. And says, "Am I getting bearded on you?" Well, it's not that, it's my body makeup, right? And then says, "Smells good." And she says it's my body makeup. That's her big moment. You heard her right. This is no longer just a case of one person's word against another. We're talking hard evidence, receipts, and every single detail being laid out for the world to see. And right now, Megyn's making it crystal clear Blake Lively is not going to just waltz out of this one unscathed. Megyn didn't mince her words when she called Blake out for the on-camera H moment. But instead of addressing the full what else, is she exaggerated or outright fabricated? The whole thing feels more like an orchestrated smear campaign than a legitimate accusation. This isn't the first time Blake's narrative has been challenged. Remember when she accused Justin's producing partner of showing her pornography? Well, that pornography turned out to be a beautiful artistic photo of the partner and his wife with their newborn baby after a home birth. It's a touching, intimate moment, completely devoid of any content, nothing inappropriate, nothing remotely close to what Blake's been describing. This pattern of misrepresentation is starting to become a disturbing trend. Blake's own text messages have surfaced, and they paint a very different picture of her.
Time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context is an absolute nothing.
As Megyn Kelly pointed out, Blake's behavior doesn't line up with her own accusations. She's been calling the shots in the media, leaking information, and attempting to paint herself as a victim in this entire ordeal. It seems like she's been trying to rehabilitate her image after it took a serious hit last summer, thanks to some videos that made her look well less than gracious. Now, let's talk about the lawsuit. Blake's filed a complaint against Justin, claiming and retaliation. But Justin is fired back with his own countersuit, accusing her of trying to silence him and damage his reputation. And he's not afraid to fight back. Blake went from leaking this whole thing to the New York Times to now trying to shut down any leaks from Justin's side. She's demanding a gag order, claiming he's trying the case in the media. But let's be honest, she's not the innocent bystander here. If anything, it looks like she's been working overtime to control the narrative. And now she wants the power to silence anyone who threatens to expose the truth.
The only reason this whole thing got started before she filed the lawsuit, she just went to the California Human Rights Office, is because she clearly cooperated with the New York Times to leak the whole thing.
Megyn's not having it. She's not backing down. And neither is Justin's team, as she puts it. If Blake's telling the truth, then what does she have to fear? Why try to suppress the evidence? If everything she's saying is above board, it's simple. If she has nothing to hide, she should let everything come out. But instead, Blake's trying to muzzle anyone who might shed light on what really happened behind the scenes. Now, here's where things get even juicier. Blake and Justin were noticeably distant during the It Ends With Us press tour. No joint interviews, no red carpet pictures together at the premiere, just a whole lot of speculation about a fallout between the two. And while the film exceeded box office expectations, overshadowed its success. And now the legal battle is officially on, and New York federal judge L.S.J. Lyman has set a trial date for March 2026. But even before stepping into the courtroom, things are already heating up. Blake's legal team is accusing Justin's lawyers of trying to sway potential jurors by setting up a website that selectively releases documents and private communications between the two stars. That's right, he's allegedly dropping snippets of their interactions, proving that Blake wasn't as innocent in this dynamic as she claims to be. Lively's lawyers stated the endless stream of defamatory and extrajudicial media statements must end. Brian Fredman, who is representing Baldwin, said in a statement in response that they would respect the court, but added, "All we want is for people to see the actual text messages that directly contradict her allegations, video footage that clearly shows there was no and all the other powerful evidence that directly contradicts any false allegations." Lively has asked for an order for a deposition for a crisis management specialist she claims was behind much of the alleged social media manipulation surrounding the film that turned public sentiment against her.
Why should Justin be able to release snippets to the media without the full context? That's what she said. That's what she did. She alleges that she's a Me Too victim.
This whole thing is a mess, and it's only getting messier. Blake is trying to paint herself as a victim, but the evidence is starting to pile up against her, and Justin is fighting back, determined to expose the truth.
I will happily participate in releasing any further leaks that they have, because the truth should be out.
The tension between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively has taken another explosive turn, and this time it's all laid out in the open. If you thought the drama couldn't get any juicier, buckle up, because this is where things get messy. Remember, we're just coming off Blake's allegations in the New York Times about Justin's alleged age and a supposed smear campaign against her. Well, Justin has fired back, not with words, but with receipts. And let me tell you, these receipts are not the kind you casually misplace in your wallet. They're the kind that could rewrite the entire narrative Blake tried to sell to the public. So here's where it gets wild. Justin and his team promised to be an open book, and boy did they deliver, according to TMZ, including a nearly 7-minute voice memo he sent her at 2 a.m. while working on their film. Hopefully, it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that. I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. That's what I want. Yes, 7 minutes. We'll get to that awkwardly long message in a second. But let's rewind and unpack why Justin felt compelled to go this far. The spark that ignited this feud. Blake allegedly wanted control over the film, and not in the collaborative, let's work together way. No, she allegedly tried to seize control, rewriting scenes, taking over the creative direction, and sidelining Justin in the process.
Hopefully it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want.
You know anything about Hollywood, that's not typical behavior for a co-star director, maybe writer, sure, but Blake wasn't wearing either of those hats. Instead, she's accused of using her fame, and let's be honest, the weight of her husband Ryan Reynolds' celebrity to strong-arm Justin into submission. This brings us to Justin's side of the story. He claims Blake's age allegations were not just false, but a strategic move to shift the spotlight off her own alleged power plays. In his words, she tried to steal the movie, and he bent over backwards to accommodate her many demands. And then there's the voice memo. Oh, the voice memo. Imagine getting a 7-minute apology at 2 a.m. from someone who's supposedly hanging you out.
What happened was Justin didn't Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an.
At one point, he even jokes about her having a baby on her boob while listening to his rambling. Who records and saves something like this? Well, someone who's clearly trying to defend themselves against a PR onslaught. But wait, there's more. This drama isn't just about their personal beef. It's also about public perception. Blake's allegations triggered a media storm, with outlets like the New York Times questioning whether they'd been manipulated into writing negative press about her. That's right. Justin was accused of orchestrating an inorganic Blake Sucks campaign. However, Brian Friedman, a notable entertainment attorney, claims it was Blake's PR team who first drove the negative stories about Justin, not the other way around. Talk about the movie. Justin's main gripe is that Blake didn't just want input, she wanted control. And when things didn't go her way, she allegedly weaponized her story against him. It's a classic case of he said, she said. But Justin's voice memo and text messages add a layer of complexity that's hard to ignore. Instead of coming across as the villain in Blake's narrative, Justin's looking more like the victim, a man caught between a powerful Hollywood couple and his own creative vision. Justin's lawyer revealed that their lawsuit is brimming with evidence that will turn the case on its head.
I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that.
Justin's book Man Enough: Undefining My Masculinity and his subsequent podcast painted him as a reformed, enlightened man. But critics are saying his actions, from apologizing profusely to allowing himself to be pushed around, show a man who's lost touch with his own strength. Some even argue that he's overcorrected, turning himself into a bootlicker, as one commentator put it. Ouch. But Blake's campaign against Justin seems to be backfiring spectacularly. With every new revelation, her credibility takes another hit, from the breastfeeding texts to the voice memo. The evidence is stacking up against her. What started as a bold move to reclaim her narrative has turned into a PR disaster of Amber Heard. Perhaps even more late-night voice memos could be on the way. If Blake thought she could control the narrative, she might have underestimated just how far Justin is willing to go to clear his name. And as for Ryan Reynolds, well, his silence speaks volumes. Is he staying out of the fray? Or is he quietly strategizing behind the scenes? Justin Baldwin's defamation and extortion lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds has taken a jaw-dropping turn, with Baldoni reportedly seeking a staggering $400 million in damages. That's a figure so immense, it's nearly 4 times the combined net worth of Lively and Reynolds. The question is it even realistic? Legal experts, including family law attorney Roy, headlines then achieving a legal windfall. Palmer, who isn't involved in the case, labeled the figure as a number picked out of thin air. According to him, aiming high in lawsuits is a common practice, a mix of scare value and media strategy. But $400 million, that's not just shooting for the moon. It's trying to buy the galaxy. But given Blake's recent antics, Justin might be in the right here.
What she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin.
And yet Baldoni seems determined this case isn't just about money for him. It's about clearing his name after being dropped by WM and losing the prestigious Women's Solidarity Award amidst the H allegations. Those accusations not only tarnished his reputation, but also made him a target in the unforgiving world of cancel culture. Now Baldwin's lawsuit seems to be as much a quest for vindication as it is for damages. Nama Ramani, president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, summed it up: this case is about Baldwin's truth coming out and sending a message to Lively. Ramani sees the lawsuit as an opportunity for Baldoni to reclaim his narrative after months of public fallout. And yet, even with the best lawyer, Courtroom Possibility Entertainment lawyer Cameron Duchahi echoed the sentiment, calling the sum a PR play more than anything. For Baldoni to win such a massive payout, he'd need to prove he was on the path to making $500 million for Lively. And Reynolds allegedly derailed his career. That's a tall order, even for Hollywood. So why choose such an eye-popping figure? Some say it's about leverage. By setting the stakes sky high, Baldoni and his team might force a settlement, sparing both parties a drawn-out, ugly courtroom battle. It's a risky move. But given the stakes of cancel culture, it's one Baldoni seems willing to take. If Baldoni somehow manages to convince the court he deserves that amount, or even a fraction of, Baldoni walks away with anything close to his claim. It's not just reputations at stake. It's their financial stability too. At its core, this case is about more than just numbers or media strategies. It's a battle of narratives. Blake Lively claims that she was HED and painted as a villain when she spoke out. Baldoni insists that those accusations are baseless, part of the campaign to discredit him. After he bent over backwards to accommodate her on set, attention is palpable, and Hollywood insiders are watching closely. Will Baldoni's bold legal move pay off? Or will it backfire spectacularly? One thing's for sure, this courtroom showdown is far from over. And if there's one thing Hollywood loves, it's a juicy scheme.